The Magnificent Seven is a Western film directed by Antoine Fuqua starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, and a bunch of other people whose names I don't entirely remember. Now, I was looking forward to this movie simply because, well, it's a Western. Those are usually pretty cool. So the movie opens up in the town Rose Creek, and I really love the opening of this movie. Simply because the movie shows right here what the people of this town have to deal with. And that is the fact that corrupt industrialist Bartholomew Bogue has just stormed into this town with his army of douches, and he is demanding that this town gives him all the money that they can get together. And he makes his statement by burning down the town's church and killing a bunch of innocent people, including Haley Bennett's character's husband. Bogue then says that he will return in 3 weeks for what he believes is rightfully his, and now the town people know that they can't give him what he wants, but at the same time, they certainly can't live under his rule. They know he has to be stopped, but they know they can't do that themselves. They need to go out and hire someone who can. And the one guy that Haley Bennett thinks can take Bogue down is Denzel Washington. And yeah, we all know that in an Antoine Fuqua movie, we're probably gonna have Denzel Washington, because he's a guy who just does really well in his films, and he does it again here. He's this really slick, really badass bounty hunter. One scene I love in particular is he goes into this tavern, he's talking to the bartender, and he's just asking the bartender a lot of questions, you know, the kind that's like, hey, I know who you are, I know what you really do. And then Denzel just kills this bartender, and of course all the town people are just like, oh shit, what the fuck just happened? But then the Washington's just basically like, no, it's okay. Here's a warrant for his arrest. Now I'm gonna go make myself a rich man. So anyways, Haley Bennett is able to come across him, and she offers him literally everything that the town can give to him, and they ask him to bring Bogue down. He agrees to do so, but he knows if he's gonna go up against Bartholomew Bogue and his army, he's probably gonna need some help. So the first guy he decides to enlist is Chris Pratt. Now, I've become a huge fan of Chris Pratt in recent years. He just always gives great performances for what he needs to give. And I really loved his character in this movie. You know, he's this really smooth, really wise-ass gambler. And because he's a gambler, he's had people try to kill them because they lost certain bets with him. There's this one moment when two brothers, they try to kill him because they lost a bet with him. And what he does is he just uses very simple magic trick with this playing card to, you know, kind of distract them. And then out of nowhere just kills one of the brother and tells the other one to just piss off. You know, Denzel Washington is thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind having him by my side for this. So once Denzel Washington brings in Chris Pratt, they now go out to get the rest of their troop. The two of them are then able to recruit Ethan Hawke, who's a sharpshooter, along with Ethan Hawke's partner, Billy Rocks, who's a knife-wielding assassin. And then the other three guys they bring in are a religious tracker, a Comanche warrior, and a Mexican outlaw. I will say, this is one of the flaws I have with this movie. I mean, yeah, you just saw me list those characters as they are, because that's generally speaking all we really get out of them. I mean, the movie does immediately establish that Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt, they are the leading characters, and this is their movie. The movie touches more on Ethan Hawke as it goes on. I'll get to that more in a minute, but the other four, not so much. Which is kind of a drag. I mean, in a movie called The Magnificent Seven, you want all 7 characters to be memorable. And that's not to say that the other members were bad members. No, they were cool and they were interesting, which bums you out because you feel like the movie should touch on them more because it would immediately make the movie even better. So anyways, The Magnificent Seven, they arrive in Rose Creek, they're ready to make their statement, and they do that by getting into an insane, awesome gunfight with Bogue's second-in-command McCain and his men. And this scene was awesome, not just in the fact that the 7 were able to take out this guy and his men, but you really do see the skills that makes each member of the 7 special. Whether it's through guns or bow and arrows or knives or whatever it might be, it was entertaining as hell. But the 7, they decide to spare McCain because they want him to deliver the message. You can tell Bogue that we're here and we're waiting for him. And you saw what happened to all these people? That's what's gonna happen to him if he shows his face down here. However, the 7 know that Bogue is still probably gonna show up with his army, and with that, they know they need to get the people of Rose Creek ready to fight. The problem is the people of Rose Creek are probably the worst people you could possibly draft for an army. I mean, when you see the 7 training these people to try to become an army for themselves, it's pretty funny because of how sad it is. Ethan Hawke literally has a bunch of people lined up with sharpshooters ready to take aim at these dummies he has out there, and none of them hit anything. And you see the look in Ethan Hawke's eyes when he turns to Denzel Washington. He's just like, we are so fucked. But it's also right around here is where Ethan Hawke's character gets more time to shine. Because what happened earlier, you know, when the Seven took on McCain and his men, Ethan Hawke was not really a part of that battle. Because here we find out that Ethan Hawke was one of the best sharpshooters in the Civil War. But he is still haunted from that. He doesn't want to go back to war. He doesn't want to go back to killing people. That stuff still haunts him, and it gets to a point where he realizes that he can't go into this battle. So now Bogue has arrived with his army. You know a huge battle is about to take place. And it does, and it's entertaining as hell. Because here you see that the townspeople have actually been able to turn themselves into a somewhat capable army. They've set up booby traps for Bogue and his men. They've actually been able to take shelter so they can't be seen, so they can fire at will on Bogue's army. And Ethan Hawke comes back to join this fight because he knows that he can't leave the Seven and the people of this town to fight them without him. I love seeing the characters in movies that overcome what's holding them back. However, everyone soon realizes that Bogue is not going to go down that easily. No, he's brought a fucking Gatling gun to this battle. And it doesn't take long for the people of Rose Creek to really feel the effect from this weapon. So many people in this town are killed, and the Seven now know that they need to get these townspeople to safety so they can take on Bogue and finish this once and for all. After the Gatling gun kills a couple people of the Magnificent Seven, Chris Pratt decides to go out there and take care of this himself. And through another trick up his sleeve, Chris Pratt is able to light a stick of dynamite and use it to destroy the Gatling gun, albeit at the cost of his own life. Bogue makes a last-ditch effort to escape, but he is cornered by Denzel. And here is where we see exactly why Denzel Washington was so quick to agree to take Bogue down in the beginning of this movie. We discovered that Bogue and his men had raped and murdered Denzel Washington's mother and sisters. Denzel Washington is of course ready to kill him, but before he can, Bogue is trying to reach for a gun that he has hidden in his boot so he can kill Denzel Washington instead. But before he can, Bogue ends up getting shot and killed by Haley Bennett. Which when it happened, I actually thought was pretty justifiable. And then the movie ends with the 4 dead members of the Seven given memorials by the town, and then Denzel Washington and the 2 surviving members just riding off. You know, basically how, like, westerns go. So all in all, The Magnificent Seven was a really entertaining movie. The movie had some really good characters, 2 great characters in Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. The movie had a solid villain. The movie had some really awesome and really exciting action in it. I do wish, however, that some of the members in The Magnificent Seven were a bit more memorable. And is the premise of this movie original? No, you've seen the premise for this movie several times, especially in Western movies. But the movie knew what it was, and if you go into this movie with the right kind of expectations, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it, just like I did. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.